head to DDs and I'ma buy one for you. Buy one for me, buy one for you. I'ma head to DDs and get a nice cold brew.
With all this caffeine, I can just stop me. Early morning getting right off the lattes. I get dripping cold when the smell hits my nose. 3 and 3 is fine, but it's shot a turbo. No time to move like a turtle. Let's rush aside. If you get a little stain on your shirt, let's shine to the dirt. I know it tastes good. Buy your honey one, I suggest that you should.
Boston cream, just like the song. Bacon, egg, and cheese, got you singing along. Got shots of espresso, my coffee special. Everything you need, so get up and let's go. Running on that Dunkin', running on that Dunkin'. Pick out the donut, just a Dunkin'. Oh, now hold up, we up to something. Drive through every morning just for muffins, yeah.
Right when it's so tasty, you want it, you know Dunkin' has it. Keeps me moving, baby. That's the Dunkin' habit.
Got the whole world running off Dunkin'. Nice cold brew, a dozen glazed munchkins. Need them hash browns, only 99 cents. Subs on a special shot, now I'm supercharged, yeah.
Shout out to 845th Street. Running for Dunkin'. Dunkin' Donuts commercial, y'all.
Well, just hold the sugar. Get in the kitchen and help us cook up.
Desayuno, Dunkin' has it. Oh man, it's so tasty. Yo quiero macchiato. Work will never faze me. Feeling like I hit the lotto. Gotta have it daily.
Got us running on that Dunkin', running on that Dunkin', running on that Dunkin'.
Wait, you just ate my Boston cream though.
What you gonna do for a nice cold brew? I'ma head to DDs and I'ma buy one for you. Buy one for me and buy one for you.
Shout out to Miss Francesca's live. I said, look, I should just turn my live off and just go with her live. First and foremost, happy Wednesday, happy hump day to everybody. Shout out to the hottest online radio station, reporting live 845, straight 845 radio, building our own from the ground up. Tonight's song was sponsored by 845th Street. They did that song for Dunkin' Donuts, and it's called A Nice Cold Brew. So if you, weather that we've been having lately, if you need a nice cold brew, head over to Dunkin' Donuts and buy one for you. Now, today's special guest, first of all, I love her whole life. She is not a stranger to Reporting Live 845. We know her as a best-selling author for the #1 book, Punished for Protecting. She is a CPS pioneer. She is a pioneer for the youth out here, for the change, for families. And now she is officially will be pre-running for governor of New York. So I'm so excited to have this woman of God, this woman of strength, this woman of just excellence on my show. So Miss Francesca, for those that may have forgot, just tell them who you are and a little bit about yourself.
Well, all right. Well, thank you for
You're
having
welcome.
me. I love being here. So I'm Francesca Amato, and I'm nonstop. Today I literally court watched all day long in Ulster County, New York. And I've been doing this for close to now 11 years of advocating for the rights of families. And when I initially started, I didn't realize how crazy it was. Oh my goodness, our courts are horrible, absolutely horrible. Today I want to say, because the judges are watching and the attorneys are watching when I talk.
How?
The attorneys are using my terminology now, and they ate the court up today.
So you're trying to say that the lawyers are now getting savvy and are actually using your teaching. So they're coming to your school.
They're watching my lives because they're repeating the things that I say about keeping families together, not severing them. And when CPS was in there today trying to say, and this is a confidential case, until it's ready, I'll be exploding it all over the place.
Right.
This family, the destruction is awful. Same judge. Same judge.
Same judge.
So I like to court watch him. And he doesn't make the right ruling tomorrow, you know that this family is going to be well known all over the place. So, but he's done some major destruction to this family. And one of the things that one of the CPS workers were saying was how it's traumatic, and talking about the traumas to children when you separate them.
Right.
But they want to keep them separated.
Right.
And this isn't a family, like, I laughed because they're talking about like how they want to protect kids from domestic violence, but that judge put my son right into the hands of domestic violence. So that was kind of hard for me to stay sitting down for a while there. But overall, towards the end, there were 3 attorneys on behalf of the family, the mother, the father, and the child.
Right.
She's 17. Man, they ate him up today to the point where he had to stop the trial. I watched him visibly change.
Right.
He was so convicted, and he couldn't go on anymore. So he ended the trial today and will proceed tomorrow. But they were actually asking questions that were relative to the destruction of the family and why you're not concerned about the traumas you're causing the family.
Now,
So-
let's educate some people as far as CPS goes, because if we see a lot of things coming on, Miss Francesca, right now in society with kids and families. First thing you're starting to see a lot of is parents abusing their very own children. And then you see parents that are not abusing their children, but they're getting their children taken away. What is the circumstances to actually, or what do you feel the circumstances are really to get your children snatched out of the home?
It's all backwards. I talk about it in the book. They're doing the opposite of normal. They're doing the opposite of what any normal thinking person would do. But in our laws, I used to think, we need to change our laws. And a lot of people think we need to change our laws. Our laws are actually pro-parent. Our laws are foundational.
Okay.
Our laws are non-negotiable federal laws.
Right.
But the family court is a joke. I mean, it's literally, people call it a kangaroo court for a reason. It's a fake court.
Right.
I won't get into all the issues about that.
Right.
But what I want to answer is that physical biological parents are not really what you're seeing abusing their children. I'm not saying it's not happening, because it does happen.
Right.
When they put these children into foster care, these adoptive or foster folk, I don't like calling them parent unless I really believe they're a parent.
Right.
Because you're taking biologicals, and a lot of times you're taking biological children, putting them with counterfeit people.
Right.
And you're robbing all of us when you do that.
Absolutely.
Okay, you're robbing their extended family, you're robbing everybody. But when you do that, and I talk to these foster kids, and I talk to them all the time, I said, was it better in that home? Even if it was a bad situation. No, I wanted my mom back. I wanted my dad back. They beat me. They sexually abused me. They adopted me out to this family. I didn't want to go. I was sent to 15 homes before I found a home. So it's horrific what's being done to these kids. And we absolutely have to abolish the system and build it properly. It's not about reform. We have to fix this mess. And
now, to you, Miss Francesca, what is really the mess? What is the disconnection between the judges and the CPS and the families? What is the miscommunication? What are we missing? Why is it so easy for CPS to come in and take your children and say what they want to say, and the judges believe them? Where's the miscommunication?
in my opinion,
in your opinion,
my opinion, and I court watch all over. In my opinion, and like I said, today was better watching these attorneys, but in my opinion, from what I see, they're cooperating together to do this damage.
Right.
They're causing chaos where there isn't, but when they see two parents at odds, they love it. They see dollar signs above their heads. Children mean nothing.
Okay.
Children mean everything to us.
Right.
Children mean nothing to them. It's a business. It's a business. They don't care about the children. They'll use these terms like best interest of the child.
Right.
Or we care about the safety and welfare of children. But it's social science research has proven it over and over again that that is not true. Wow. And they don't care. And the woman that was on the stand today from CPS even said she had a master's degree. But all the caseworkers, they're not law enforcement. They don't have proper training to investigate, yet they call them investigators.
Right, right.
They don't have that.
Right.
They're not licensed social workers. So they have some training, and the training is very minimal.
I was about to say, because they can come into your house and just not like you for whatever reason.
And they do it every day, or they fabricate, or they falsify records every single day. And I'm going to tell you the reason. It's the mighty dollar. This is a multi-billion-dollar industry.
The CPS industry.
Just CPS, family court, foster care, and child trafficking is what we call it. If you really think about it, people think child trafficking means that they're prostituting kids out in the street.
Right.
Or child trafficking means that they're sexually abusing children. And that's true. But when you're trafficking people's children through what we think is a judicial system, and then it's CPS gets involved, and then foster care, you're talking mega dollars. Wow. And this money is infiltrated through our state. And that's why I want to run for governor. I want to run for governor because Andrew Cuomo a couple days ago, and you guys can check this out, pardoned
Mhm.
Larry, what's his name?
Yes, he did.
For the 5-year-old boy that was raped by him.
Yes,
Hello?
he did.
Do we want that in office?
And you know what? Can I say something? I was a fan of Cuomo. I was a fan with Cuomo. I totally agree with you. I knew you was gonna bring that up. He lost me there too.
Well, I mean, obviously, there's either two things. He wants the vote of the people that want to destroy our children,
Uh-huh.
because they're out there.
Mhm.
We have to wake up and realize the majority of us,
Yes.
we love kids.
Mhm.
We genuinely love children. This industry does not love children. This industry is out to use children for dollars. They don't care what happens to these kids. So it's abuse on every level.
Now, Ms. McDonald, again, congratulations, and I'm so excited that you are pre-running for governor. I have to ask you a question because you're definitely sticking your neck out there. The reason why I say you're sticking your neck out there, you're sticking your neck out there at a time where people in higher places, let me just say that because I don't want the Illuminati or the White House or anybody to send anybody to me. I'm just the interviewee, but I got to ask the questions that people want to know. But the people in higher places are ripping families apart. And he got a little bit of support behind this ripping of the families. And not saying that everybody agrees, but he does have some supporters that agree with this. So now you're coming out, you're exposing CPS, you're exposing the judicial system, you're actually putting things, and you're fighting for our kids. How are you going to withstand what's happening right now? Because thousands of children need you, but will the people accept you? So how do you really go for something that you're sticking your neck out for in a time like this?
Shockingly enough, and I know you've seen it on Facebook, you get attacked by the very people that you give everything to.
Absolutely.
Some people have that attitude of, what do they call that? There's those with an attitude of gratitude.
Yes.
And then you got the others with an attitude of, you owe me.
Yes.
And you can do everything for them, and you won't even hear a thank you out of their mouth, but all you see is their children. So you're like, I'll overlook that, and I'll overlook this, and you drive here, and you go here, and you do this, and you shell out, and you do everything you can, and they attack you.
Right.
But I prayed about it, and I said, God, okay, you got Senator Nancy Schaefer, who was killed in Georgia for doing what I do for CPS.
Yes.
Exposing. You have Judge Anton Scalia, who was killed.
Wow.
Family court, who was actually going to make sure that the Constitution was followed and parental rights were not abused like this. And I was like, okay, so I'm being attacked viciously, which God just made a massive blowout the other day on Monday night. My live went crazy because someone who's been attacking me was massively exposed.
Right.
And he's working it out. He's going to work it out. When he appoints people in positions that he wants, because I'm not a politician. I never thought in my lifetime I'd run for governor of New York.
Right.
But I mean, it was like he kept planting this stuff in me, like, wait a minute, you know all this. I've got years of experience. I got way more experience than any of these people.
Absolutely.
I know this state from the beginning to the end. I lived in Manhattan. I know this state. And my job and what I'm doing as an advocate, I learned a lot. I was like the Trojan horse in the court. They didn't know, I didn't know what he really had for me for down the road.
Right.
So everything I've done in my life leads me up to what I'm doing now. Every job or anything I've ever done, I'm finding myself going, wow, that skill isn't handy for now.
Right.
And this skill and this gift and that. So I just have to just withstand the attacks, and I just keep giving them to him. You know, they were killed for it, so I'm being attacked by some verbal stuff. All right, whatever. But what's the goal here? The goal is that families stay together in our country, and that children don't end up drug addicts in jail, because that's what we're seeing with our kids.
I was going to ask you
what they're
that.
doing.
I was going to ask you that because you are a pioneer, and you are seeing first kids getting ripped apart and things like that. What are some of the symptoms? Because I think people don't really understand that. I know CPS will never understand that because they're just taking the kids out. They go home to their families. They sleep good at night.
Right.
You know, foster kids know that they got a foster parents or foster folk know they got a new dollar bill coming in their house, so they don't really care. They know they're gonna get a check, things like that. Do you feel that because of what's happening in the CPS, the judicial and the foster care system, that we are raising up addicts, drug dealers, gang members? If so, why?
There's no question that, and I have stats on this. Matter of fact, I'll be doing an event in Washington, D.C., and actually it's being headed off by Robert Slavin, and there's a whole bunch of people on the team.
Okay.
And I'll be speaking with several other people in Congress at the Ed panel. And I've got stats, and I'm going to talk about ACE research, which is adverse childhood experiences. I'm going to show the collaboration of I'm going to show the statistics in every single state and in reference to how many children were taken, fostered, adopted, or made further ripped apart from their families in family court, and how it relates to the heroin epidemic, the meth epidemic that we see, like it's crazy now, with the amount of juvenile delinquency, juveniles in jail, and then into adulthood.
Right.
If you look back and if you do your research, and you'll find out that these kids have all come out of not just broken homes. Broken homes is one thing.
Right.
You can have a broken home and have a good family and not end up a statistic.
Right.
You can have one single mother
and a single father and still do it.
And still do well. It's not until the courts get in there and then make it 8 times more exasperated and far worse than it could have ever been, because when they get their hands in it, they make it worse.
It gets messy.
How do you do this to children? How many times have you seen even a movie when someone's been adopted? And don't get me wrong, there's lovely adoptive parents.
I was going to ask you that. Are there really good adopted and foster parents out there?
Very few.
Very few.
And that's not a good thing.
Right. Okay.
One is too many. Okay. Just like one dead child is too many. One abused child is too many. All right, and biological families are so important because it's important for the entire health and safety of our entire country.
Absolutely.
Okay, and what's the world made up of? Families. So when we start playing God and switching biological families,
we're messing up.
We're messing up order here. We're
That's
messing it up big time. And churches, you need people like me in your churches to speak the truth to your church members. You know, it's not about your 501 nonprofit in church that you're afraid to talk at the pulpit.
Right.
Okay, what are you really there for? Are you there to speak truth? Are you there for families? And I know that there's a lot of people in church that think, I'm going to be a foster mom because that kid's abused. You better find out if that kid was really abused before you foster somebody's child that doesn't belong to you.
Ooh.
Okay? There's a lot to this, that innocent people in church love God and think, I'm going to foster kids. And then you find out that there was no abuse, but you don't know that.
Right.
You don't know that. You think you're doing a good thing.
Now, Miss, we got to talk. Shout out to anybody that's having a problem with CPS. If you're on Miss Francesca's live and you have a question, just jump onto the reporting live page so I can answer your question. But any of those going through CPS problems or anything like that, if you're a foster child, please feel free to share and things like that. But Miss Francesca, I got to ask you this, because many people may say, No. You still on? Wait, no, you're still on. No, you're still on. I gotta ask this question, Miss Francesca, because are you ready to die for this?
I can't not do this.
You cannot do this.
I can only say I can't not do this. I am led. I am called to do this. He's making it happen.
Right.
I don't plan my days.
Right.
When you're where you're supposed to be, everything kind of works its way out.
It sure does.
And when you're not where you're supposed to be, you know what that's like.
Yes.
So all I can say is I can't stop doing this. That's all I can tell you.
Now we gotta talk about, I don't know if we can talk about two details, and I want to highlight a particular story that you're going through right now, because it's a particular story that deals with two beautiful twins.
Yes.
And they were ripped out of their home.
Yes.
And if I did my research right, and you could correct me if I'm wrong, because we are live, they were ripped out of their home. They came from a good home.
A great home.
And they were ripped out of their home and put into an abusive home.
So the father is from Croatia.
Okay.
And we're working very hard on that case. A lot of it's confidential that you and I discussed.
Right.
Just now, but the rest we can talk about. And right now, I don't know. Dana tells me everything. The mother, I know every detail all the time. And right now, because I was court watching all day, try to reach out to her, I don't know if she's in jail or not.
Okay.
So we're going to get on that as soon as possible. I
Right.
rushed from Kingston to Middletown, and if anybody's from New York, you know.
Right.
You know, but this story is outrageous. Okay, you thought mine was bad. I mean, you thought this was bad. This mom was a CPS worker for less than 2 months. They fired her for insubordination because she wouldn't take children from good homes.
Right.
And she was saying, why are you keeping these abused kids there, though? And so that was wrong.
In their eyes.
That was wrong in the world of this psychotic business.
Right.
So they fired her. Now, if you look at the pictures, and I don't have them here, but if you look at the pictures of these beautiful twin girls, I mean, they're gorgeous. And honor roll students. And you can see mom and the family. And it's like beautiful family,
right.
Beautiful home. I mean, they had everything. This is a 3-state case. It started in Alabama, but when the mom crossed over to Georgia, the father owed $20,000 in back support. No arrest for him. That was okay. Now, when they switched, there was a warrant for the mom. Okay, we're seeing a lot of this right now. We're seeing custody being taken completely from mothers. All of a sudden, there's a court date that they don't know about. That's exactly what I lived.
Right.
Okay? Because if you go to court for 10 years and you suddenly miss a court date, you didn't do it on purpose.
Absolutely.
There's something going on.
Uh-huh.
Okay? I mean, so anyway, and then what they did is they arrested her, and that's when I took her live off of her live.
Okay.
And then I was like, oh my God, this poor woman, you know? And as soon as I saw her twins, it was like, you know, you just fall in love with these kids.
Right.
And lo and behold, long story short, so far we've gotten rid of Alabama, we've gotten rid of Georgia, because it's too long of a story, but they're in New York City family court at this point in time. CPS has been contacted because the girls kept begging. I mean, we've got pictures of the girls all over social media begging to come home.
To their mother.
Now, aren't their wishes, don't they matter? They're human beings.
If it's for the best interest of the children.
There's a so-called best interest. These kids want mom. They want grandma. They want family. They want their family.
Why is it, Miss Francesca, I'm sorry to cut you off. Why is it, though, because you've been in the CPS, why is it that CPS don't send you to your family versus sending you to the outside?
It's all about money.
All money, okay.
Now, there's different types of funding that comes through. It's all
Oh,
about funding. It's all about incentives. Like I said, your children have dollar signs on them. You have to know how to fight them. We do classes twice a week to educate people, because I get messages all the time around the clock, and they want a quick answer in a chat in Facebook. I'm not going to do that. I could destroy you if I do that.
Right.
So we want to educate you. We want to build you up. There's a lot to the education. It's not just even learning. It's unlearning. It's what they've taught you. It's the lies they've told you. They make you feel like we have no rights.
Right.
We're not in bondage to them.
Right.
We only are if we allow it. So this is part of what we do at Punish for Protecting, is train people up, get in our classes. We do it through Zoom. It's zoom.us. You just get in there on 7:30 Tuesdays and Thursdays, and I do a new ID number every week, and that's for everybody's safety.
right.
And it's a confidential class, but sometimes we have up to 100, sometimes 30 people. It depends. And we have different instructors. Sometimes we have attorneys that are completely for what we're doing.
Right.
We have just various people that teach. We teach everything, though. First of all, we offer hope. That's important, because when you're fighting for your children and your heart's been ripped out and you're half dead, but you're alive,
Yes.
you need people that are going to build you up, and that's part of what we do.
Okay.
You need to be untaught, and then you need to be taught what's correct. So you know how to fight, you know what to write, you know how to speak, you know how to act in court. You know how to not respond.
Right.
You know how to not let them
right.
get to your emotions, because there's a big game going on in these family courts.
They just want to see you act out real quick.
They want to trigger you.
Right.
They want to use, instead of saying, I'd be upset. A normal person would go, listen, you took my kids, I don't care who you are. Of course you're going to be upset. But God forbid you act upset. Now, a normal person would say, thank God that mother's upset. Thank God that father's upset. And they have compassion and empathy for that person. Not in the family court system or all that whole thing. Because I'm sorry, they're subhuman. There's something not real with these people.
Right.
And it's my job to not just expose them, but we need to get rid of them. Okay? We need to have them fired. We need to have them recalled. And this is why I want to be governor, because that's what I'm going to do. I want to audit the whole state.
I'm with you.
We need to know where our money's going.
That's a fact.
And we, the people, need to say, enough. We don't want this anymore. We need change. Period.
Now I gotta ask you this, because I gotta be the one to ask the questions that people want to know. Everybody comes and they say, vote for me, I'm gonna do this, that, and the third. So I guess the question is,
I like this. Come on.
you like that?
I like it.
When we get you in, as governor for New York, what can you guarantee, if anything?
Okay. I'm not going to be one of those. First of all, I'm not a person that goes up there with the speech.
Right.
Everything that I say comes from here.
Here, right.
You lead, I'll speak.
Right.
I might not be perfect in my speech, but I'm going to speak this.
Right.
And one thing I can promise anybody is that I'm going to fight like hell, like I do now. I'm fighting like hell now. Around the clock, I'm somewhere doing something for somebody.
That's right.
So that we can all get the help we need. So that's one thing you're going to get from me. You're not going to get a bullshitter. I don't care.
That's right.
And I can't wait to debate with some of these people. I can't wait to get on that stage and to debate with those that are running.
Yeah, because they're going to say, well, you're going to start talking about kids. They're going to start talking about the Tappan Zee Bridge. You're going to start talking about kids. They're going to talk about finances and tax cutting. What else? They're going
to talk about agenda.
Never.
And they're going to talk about their motives for the agenda that they have, so that they can keep lining their pockets with finances that are ruining everybody and holding people in bondage.
That's right.
And I'm going to talk real
talk.
And I don't care who's listening. I hope they're all listening. And hopefully they'll vote for me too by the time I get done with them. That's my goal.
Well, listen, They're going to vote, and I'm going to make sure you have a particular vote, and I'm going to tell you why. Can you answer this question for me, Miss Francesca? You've been going through this for years. You've seen it. You've been in the court. You've been court watching. Is it minorities you see more so split up than any other race? Talk to us.
It used to be, and I'm a very firm, strong believer. Like, I get very upset when I see people shot in the street,
right?
And they have maybe a pack of cigarettes in their hand, and they never had due process or a court date, but they got killed because they thought they had a gun,
right?
They pretended they had a gun. I mean, please. But no, what we're seeing right now is we're seeing anybody. Like, we're seeing police officers being. I mean, okay, there's good and bad police officers.
Absolutely.
And there's definitely bad police officers. But we're seeing even politicians, we're seeing all kinds of people. We're seeing poor and we're seeing very wealthy. We're seeing Kelly Rutherford from Gossip Girl. They took her through the mill.
Really?
She's very wealthy. Okay? So it's not the cookie cutter anymore. Everybody's a victim. And even if you don't go through family court or any of this, you're a victim. You're a victim. And the reason you're a victim is because your neighbor's kid just got taken and your kids used to play with them. Or, you know what I'm saying? Or these judges that are making these decisions, they have kids, right? So those judges, when those kids get old enough to get married, are probably going to make one of your children who they destroyed. How do we not know that? Do you understand what I'm saying? So we're all affected by this. We don't see what we do today affects us tomorrow.
Absolutely.
And I'm accountable for you, and you're accountable for me.
Absolutely.
Right? So that's why God wants our consciences to be right toward one another and do the right thing. And this is why we have the results that we see right now. And this is why we need to make these changes.
You know, I'm not gonna lie, Miss Francesca. I'm first of all, I'm gonna vote for you. Let me just put that out there. And you're not supposed to tell people they're supposed to vote. I'm gonna vote for you. Not just because I love your whole life, just because I believe that we don't have any leaders anymore. I feel like we have people in position, but we don't have any leaders. So we need leaders. And right now, especially with what's going on, especially with the ripping people from their family, especially with these children going through abuse and they having nobody to go to, we need people like you. You doing all your statistic work and you doing your homework and things like that. Is America worse than any other state? Is New York worse than any other state when it comes to the CPS thing? Or what number, from like 1 to 5, what number are we on that number?
The worst states that I see, the sexual trafficking that I see that's heavy stated is West Virginia, North New York.
Okay.
They're actually affiliated with each other.
Okay.
We see it in Ohio, Florida, California. Just recently, I think it was it Kansas that they actually found all the sex abuse and the trees and all that.
Oh, yeah.
Trees for kids to be tied to.
Wow.
This is bad. This is global. It's very, very bad. And a lot of times it's part of a lot of public awareness. And people are shocked. They thought it was the bad guy just does this.
Right.
You know, or the crook over there just does this. But it's literally it's infiltrated through our unjust system.
Right.
It's infiltrated through our judicial system, and we're exposing it now. It's like the medical profession.
Okay.
Certain things that in the medical profession that were not right, that you'll never get the healing.
Right.
You know what I mean? But you'll always have like that. You'll always have sick hair. You get what I'm saying?
Right.
And it's all because we deviated from God's original plan. Really, that's what it comes down to.
I'm just trying to tell
Listen, you turn your family over to the government, and the government's going to destroy you.
That's true.
Okay?
That's
Protect
true.
your family. That's what it's about. You turn your health over to a man in a white lab coat, and he drugs you for your health instead of heal you the way God planned.
Exactly.
Well, that's what and churches do it every day too. Let's pray for the man's hands to fix me. Well, how about you just do what God said in the first place, and we wouldn't have all these issues. So let's just,
Listen, I'm with you. I gotta ask this question too because you're running for governor. So people may say, okay, Mucci, you're excited. I'm excited. Miss Francesca's running. But Mucci, we see her plan for the youth. But you're running to a political world that other things tie into that.
Right.
So I guess the people may want to ask or will have questions as to how knowledgeable are you in other areas besides the youth, as far as being a governor of New York.
Correct. So it's not obviously just going to be about the youth.
Right.
Okay. Other areas that I'm very strong and very adamant about is, and they tie in though. They do tie in.
Talk to us.
I believe in taking that axe to the root of the issue.
Let's go.
So we don't continue to have the issue.
That's right.
And everything branches out from family. And if we don't fix that first, what do we have, right? But we have I always say the most attacked are from the womb to the tomb.
That's right.
Right?
Right.
So what happens is when we start attacking the most vulnerable, because we have dollar signs on their heads. All right, so part of what happened through DSS and all this is that the elderly are very viciously attacked and lied to. They want their vote, but they don't help them. So that's another major issue that I'm going to be very deeply involved in, because I'm sick and tired of the politician that goes and snows them with what I'm going to do. But as soon as they get in office, they don't do anything at all. Then I'll be speaking in front of the disabled committee, I believe at the end of the month. And disabled people are so abused, and the veterans are so abused. These are all the issues that all tie into the same moneymaker.
That's right.
Okay, and that's why I want to do the audits. That's why, and it's not just audits. People are like, "Whoa, you want to do that?" I want to audit from the top of our state to the bottom of our state. I want to know where our money is going, and I want to make sure that it's put back out to where it's supposed to be.
I vote for you. You ain't got to say nothing else, because of all this tax money getting taken out of my taxes, and the government, half these the elderly, their SSI is getting cut. The veterans don't got no insurance. People, I want to know where my money's gone, please.
And I also I talk to people when I go and public speak. I say, what other issues are you concerned about?
Right.
Because you know what happens to people sometimes? You become so framed in what they made you be that you're not who you're supposed to be.
Right.
So you just accept the garbage. You know, you're really, really hungry right now, and the only thing you can do right now is go get a burger from McDonald's. I'm just saying.
Right, hypothetically.
But my point is that because you're being squeezed into this, I can only go this far mold, and that's not the plan God has for us. He's got big plans for us. And so that's one of the things I'd like to see generated in the state of New York. I want to see our state be like a beacon of light, a state that people look up to us in our country, and be a state that people can say, wow, they fixed that system, and we can do the same thing here and make our country healthy again. Because it's sick. Our country's sick.
So we're not even trying to make the country great again. We're just trying to make the country healthy again. Forget making it great. We're trying to make it healthy.
Make it healthy.
First of all, shout out to Miss Francesca for being up here again. I want everybody to please get excited. She is from the Hudson Valley 845, right?
Yes, I am.
And she is going to be pre-running for governor for New York.
Well,
so
by August 21st, I'll be running, guaranteed.
Woo! And guess what? I just want to make a major announcement on myself.
And I'm going to really talk.
I'm a campaign manager, so if you see me running around here trying to get some votes, just go with the flow and sign it, because it's for the good reason. Y'all know I'm not gonna have y'all sign nothing and support anybody that's not doing the right thing. But this young lady right here, I watched her, actually, not for nothing, and Miss Francesca, I can say this live. People like you in my corner, you're the reason why I get so much confidence as to be great. I don't know what it is that God has me to do, but I know it's something. And whatever it is, you, and shout out to Miss Tony Jean, Miss Laura Thompson, Miss Deshauna Carter, it's a couple of you women that actually give me that to lead and not follow and to be strong. So thank you for being who you are. Governor.
I thank you too, though, because let me tell you, you got those motivational minutes every day.
You see me, I don't play.
And it's like, and it happens just when I need it. Like, I'll get attacked from somebody, and I'm like, then there's Moochie, and then she's out there dancing, and I'm like, ah. She's like, don't listen to the haterade, and I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah, I have to remind you, and let me encourage you publicly, Miss Francesca, because you already know, as soldiers for God, we have to stand on the battlefield, and sometimes we have to be front line. Yes. And of course, you already know, and what you in the profession you're about to go in, and the levels that he's about to take, you already know you're about to get attacked. But you're not going to get attacked by people. You know, it's principalities and things in higher places. I want you to be encouraged. I want you not to stop. I want you to know that people like me and my children and my friends' children and the ones that he goes to school with that need you. You are needed, especially in a time like this. I can't wait for August because we need change. And if nobody else wants to stand in the gap, again, he sends his finest. You know, he sends his, and he'll suit us up with the armor, and he will let us withstand. So I encourage you to do what you've been doing. We need you, Governor.
Thank you.
Governor, I like the way that sounds. Governor French. And you know what I'm going to be able to say, I know the governor. The governor sat on my show.
I'll keep coming back and coming back.
I'm telling you, but it's all right because I'm going to be coming to you.
They need to know that I'm running independent.
Yeah, so let's talk about the details of what's going on.
Any person in New York State that's a registered voter of any party. I'm not here to bring division between people.
So we don't care about Democrat, Republican.
I don't even want to hear it anymore. Let's put that as old news. Let's throw that out and let's start fresh, because we want new things. We want to see I want to see the state of New York, like I said, a beacon of light. We need to be people that love our neighbors and care about our families. And literally, let's see some change. Let's see a revival in the state of New York, and not through churches, through people. Being human.
I like that.
Being good to each other. Caring about our future, because if we don't take care of our children now, what's going to happen to this country? So let's make New York a really great state, and I believe we can do that.
I know we can.
Independent.
So you're going to be independent.
So anybody can register. Anybody can sign the petition. It's supposed to be like 15,000 votes. We're going to max that out way higher.
Okay.
But we still want all of you on there, and then I can really get my big mouth out there to everybody.
So we need 15,000.
Yeah.
15,000 signatures.
I'll be real busy this weekend, though.
By what's the deadline?
Well, August 21st is the deadline, and I'll be up in Albany, and I'll be filing with more than 15,000 guys. But I still need all your signatures.
Okay.
And but if it's somebody that's physically mailing them back to me, no later than August 15th.
Okay.
And you can I just say the address?
Absolutely.
So you're going to go vote Amato, and it's going to be P.O. Box 774, Marlboro, New York, 12542. And if you need a petition and you don't see Moochie or somebody, because we have them all over, you're going to go to gov.ny.voteamato, AMATO, @gmail.com. We'll send you the instructions. We'll send you the petition. Simply print it, signature, and you're going to mail it back.
Do me a favor. Say all that one more time so I can type it in as you're talking. So go. So say it all again. Go.
Okay. So it's running independent, which means any registered New York voter of any party can sign the petition. The deadline is August 21st, which I will be in Albany at the Board of Elections filing it. Prior to that, if you don't get to a location that I'm at, or Moochie, or we have several other campaign managers all around literally the state, because we're doing it the old-fashioned way. We're actually working for the vote. So in that case, you will write vote Amato, and I'm sorry, you'll write gov.ny for New York, .vote Amato, AMATO, @gmail.com. And all the instructions will be sent to you with the P.O. Box, which is P.O. Box 774, Marlboro, New York, 12542. So.
Oh my goodness, I'm so excited. First of all, I'm so excited for you. On a side note, how do you feel? You are pre-running for governor of New York City. Now listen, from what I see, you had New York State.
New York State, all over.
All over New York State. I have a question. Don't you have Nixon against you?
Yes, I do. Yes.
Cynthia Nixon?
Well, soon I'll be against her once I'm on that ballot. But yeah, Cynthia Nixon. And I'm interested to say something. I was in New Paltz for 4 hours last Saturday. And a lot of the people in New Paltz were great. But they were like, after they talked to me, they were going to vote for her. But they said not anymore, and they signed the petition. So I found that very interesting. So
I mean, because I see where she's going. But I see, I can, and listen, because I watch CNN. I'm in the political game, because I too, and the reason why I did accept this, because as I sit under Miss Francesca and get some teaching in this political game, I am myself going to sit on some board or some alderman or something. But so I definitely watch, and I'm learning, and I follow her, and I see her turning into a Como if she got in office. I see it. So I can see why they changed their vote. She has some good. Can I ask you a question? What's your feel on marijuana? Let me just talk about some of the things that I see them talking about.
My sister's an international best-selling author.
Yes, she is. Miss Tony T!
Start Building Wellness. Tony in the house. And we believe in medicinal marijuana.
Right.
We believe in epilepsy. We don't believe in epilepsy, but we believe in the oils and for epilepsy and chronic pain and certain things. Obviously, Tony believes in and is very well proven.
Right.
To have somebody completely healed and not need anything.
That's right.
But we're fine with that. My issue would be, well, how would you feel if you were driving down the street and you had your kids in the car and somebody was stoned driving? Would that make you feel comfortable? So do we want to legalize all marijuana? Do we want to, I'm not against it. I'm for it.
Right.
But I want to think about certain things, because there's somebody who's drunk driving, and if you're, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
maybe certain types of regulations, but I'm very much against people taking children from somebody because they smoked a joint.
Okay. Okay.
Very much against that, for just ripping apart a family because someone smoked a joint. I mean, so I've got a lot to think about with certain things.
With certain things.
I mean, we have a horrible pharmaceutical, medical, ridiculous kinds of medications that are killing people.
That's a money-making machine.
And that's, that should be banned. I mean, not marijuana.
Right,
so,
right.
So I have a little bit of...
Little thing. We're just touching on a couple of things that you see that they're talking about politically.
Yeah.
Politically, you see them talking about, and this ties great into what you're doing because you see them trying to figure out a way to cut school taxes and cut things that are in school. What's your stand on that? Because we're trying to keep families together. Obviously, these kids need education. So what's your stance on that?
I believe that people should have the freedom to choose the types of any school that they want, whether it be homeschool, unschool, Montessori school, Waldorf school, public school. But I don't believe that somebody should go to public school and the public schools think they're going to own your children.
Okay.
I'm going to make sure CPS never steps foot inside a school. There has to be genuine abuse.
Okay.
And it has to be proven before you harass somebody's child and take them out of class without anybody's parents giving consent.
Right.
So there's other issues that are tied into our schools that you know what it is with politicians, they're going to give you basic layers, the surface stuff,
right,
and just to get your vote, okay? But I research things out so in depthly that when we talk to the public about these types of subjects, they're going to know why this isn't really good for you in the long run,
right,
and how this is hurting your family. One of the things we need to do is be free from the shackles and stop letting them control us, no matter who we are.
I gotta ask this question.
Black, white.
I gotta ask this question because we're talking about. I love this show. I love it, Mom. I love what I do.
She loves her show.
Because I just asked. I think I asked the question, but I gotta ask this question, Miss Francesca, because it's 2018. Back in my day, I'm not that old, but back in my day, my mother used to discipline me.
Your mom looks. I mean, look at your mom.
I know she looked at my sister, right?
There,
Don't tell her that. But back in my day, my mother used to discipline me. There was nothing wrong with a good old butt whooping.
Come on.
She beat me with a belt, a switch, all that. But I was okay with that.
Yeah.
Nowadays, 2018.
Thank you, sir. May I have another number?
Right? Now 2018, it's not like that, Miss Francesca.
Right.
You can't say anything to your kid without threatening to call CPS. CPS swarms in, takes the kid because now the kid made up a story.
Right.
So how do parents combat that?
We have to put a stop to it and put your foot down. First of all, that's why we unlearn you and learn you. Okay? Because first of all, they're not legally allowed in the school.
Okay.
There's so many factors. They're not legally allowed in your house. You don't have a warrant, no entry. No warrant, no entry. Just remember that. No warrant, no entry.
Right, all the way around the board.
Okay, let me tell you something. Would you let's say, a CPS worker say, listen, I heard you hit your TV. Your TV, you hit it because, I don't know, you just hit your TV, you were pissed off. So I'm here to take it. Would you let them take that inanimate object from your home?
Absolutely not.
But they're coming in taking your kids because they heard you hit your child, or whatever the case may be, or your neighbor got pissed off at you and decided to call CPS. And they saw dollar signs and they sent the person out to go do their thing. They shoot now and then we'll ask questions later. But the trauma that they cause to your children, just by coming in and then taking them, and then the trauma, and then the social science research that backs the trauma and the abuse to the children and what that caused your family, and then it just goes on from there.
Because you see it now a lot. Like, I'm not gonna lie, I think me and my mother were somewhere, I think it was like a month ago, and I think we were in a public place, and this lady was talking back, talking to her child. Her child was like, shut up to her mother. I'll call CPS right now. Like, she has CPS.
That's what we're raising is a bunch of rebellious kids because they know now that they can call CPS.
And they're just going to come and save them.
And that's a bunch of nonsense because let me tell you something, okay? I mean, Pennsylvania, for example, is a Commonwealth state.
Right.
So I don't agree with beating a child, obviously, but you could pretty much beat your kid there and they don't care, because it's a Commonwealth state. But they talk about certain states being what is that called? I can't think of the name of it. Anyway, where you're allowed to
discipline.
Well, it's common discipline, but but there's wrong ways. Obviously, you're not going to sit there and beat your child with a switch to bloody or whatever.
Right.
Okay? Or somebody that maybe throws a baby, something crazy. But a natural smack your child on the butt, or take a spoon and smack your child on the butt. Why? So that they don't grow up and be,
smacking somebody in the face.
Or, you know what I'm saying? Or it's like discipline is a form of love. if it's done properly. When you love your child, I don't want you doing such and such and such.
Right.
You know, and you're the parent, you're the adult, they're not.
Because I feel like the CPS, not even CPS, but I think like the laws for the parents now, it's like a punishment for us now.
Corporal punishment. I couldn't think of the name of it.
It's a punishment now for us to have children because we have to raise our children, we have to discipline our children, but we can't raise our children and we can't discipline our children because we have to worry about our kids getting taken away. But then we wonder why we have all these children,
I don't worry about that.
being disrespectful and have no respect because we can't because people are scared to raise their children.
Right.
Like, back in the day when the late...
And everybody grew up just fine.
Just fine.
Right.
Like, I don't even remember CPS even being in my vocabulary back then.
You would never think of it as always, we never grew up thinking that. You know what I'm saying? We just...
Do it. But now, kids have that on speed dial.
Right.
And the CPS comes.
Let me tell you something, okay? Like, I'd like to see CVS try to show up at my door. But anyway...
She said, "So come."
I'll be like, "Wait, where's that spoon? Where's that spoon? Oh, come here. You want to see what it feels like? It's you're not coming in my house, but
And they can't retaliate if you tell them no.
Yeah, meaning the
CPS.
They do retaliate with certain people. It just depends, and it's really important that people take the classes or whatever because CPS wouldn't come near my door. They wouldn't come near my door.
Okay.
They know better in Ulster County.
Okay.
And if I'm involved in your case, they're not going to bother you either.
Right.
I mean, I don't know if you knew the one case I was heading down to Westchester. Tony was actually going on book talk with Bill Lemansky.
No.
And I went a few weeks after that, and she gets a phone call from one of her clients while we're heading down. And it's a lovely family. And the child was born premature, and then they had to wait for the birth weight to rise up. And it's a husband and wife, lovely, lovely, lovely family, my sister's clients. So of all places, I'm in the car, God's divine timing, and she's saying, they're telling me, I think it was a grandmother, they're telling me that we can't leave, and the child reached the birth weight to leave. Everything was fine.
Right.
And we can't leave, or they're calling CPS. And I was like, yeah, it ain't happening. This was Albany Medical. And I said to my sister, I put the woman on the phone. I said, you tell them that this is Francesca Amato, punished for protecting, and you let them know that I am your exclusive advocate, and you let them know that they better not think about calling CPS. 10 minutes later, we get a phone call, and then we get a picture of the baby in the car, leaving. Okay?
So they know who to play with and who not to play with.
Yeah, and don't get me wrong. Sometimes we'll get a judge or CPS in another state that will do their thing a little bit, think they're going to play a little bit. It doesn't last long. It doesn't last long. So the more we keep doing this, and the more we keep putting our foot down, and the more we keep showing our authority, and the more we know the right laws, right and wrong doesn't have to be in a law on paper.
Right.
Think about Rosa Parks. When she was told that she couldn't keep sitting, she kept sitting. Because the law on paper was wrong.
Right.
But her moral compass was right.
Right.
And she alone, look at what she did.
That's she right. She
and
made a way.
we have to do the same thing. We don't have a choice. We have to do the right thing all the time. And if that means that they're going to invade our rights, and take our children, take a baby that's just born from a bonding mother that's nursing, are you kidding me?
Yeah.
We got to do the right thing.
She get your pens and papers ready to sign because we definitely need change in New York. And this is change. Yeah, I pray for change. We say we want change. We don't like how things are running. We want people in new seats. We asking for it. God is putting people in position and in high places. So we have to be receptive to them. So listen and give Miss, I got to ask one more question before we get out of here. Because it's very important people know that you're running, you're pre-running for governor and then on August 31st. 21st.
August 21st.
You'll officially be running for governor. Yeah. So the governor, we had to touch on some other things. So I guess as a governor, you'll be working with the president and things like that. What do you feel right now as far as his stance on that wall?
So I believe we have to be proper. I can't go to Italy and not be properly vetted, and I'm Italian.
Right.
And I believe that we have to be properly vetted. I do not believe that every single last person that came here that is sent back as a criminal.
Absolutely.
Their families, and I am firmly against separating them from their children.
Right.
And I was upset because I have to tell you something. There's two petitions. There's two executive orders that the president signed on February 8th. Mm-hmm. That is something that no other president has done.
That's
Number one, Family First Act that protects children. No other president's done that. And number two, the Buchanan Bill, which is an executive order that protects children from CPS.
Right.
Okay? This is good stuff. We have to give honor where it's due.
Mhm.
And a lot of the attacks he gets are like the attacks I get. They're
Right.
not true.
Right.
And Obama got that weren't true. And then there's stuff that Obama got that were true.
Right.
Okay, so what are we going to do about that? Are we going to keep doing this as a nation? I hate this person in office. What good is that doing any of us?
Right.
It's not doing us any good. What I believe is I'm upset that I'm upset that they got separated, okay? Don't get me wrong there. But I'm upset because I'm all for families. But I'm upset that before our own country, he did not do that to protect our own children. He did not sign an executive order to stop CPS from separating and
Ours
stop Family
first.
Court from separating our American children. It should have happened to us before it happened to somebody that's not a legal citizen. Now, if you're throwing people out because they're not a legal citizen, okay, and yes, we're a country of laws and not all laws are right,
Right. Right.
okay, I understand that, but we're in the 21st century. Are we not yet more educated? Have we not yet advanced? Have we not, what are we doing? Because
Right.
criminal justice is a messed up criminal industry. It's not right.
Yeah,
It's
they-
justice for the criminal. It's
Right.
not for the innocent. So we got a lot of fixing to do. But when he did that and he didn't do it for us first and he
Okay.
did it for them, do you know what ended up happening? If they're not legal citizens here, then why are their children okay to be sold into foster care here in America? Because that's what they're doing.
Right.
So the dollar signs now are on the children that are at the border,
Uh-huh.
okay? And now they're putting them into foster care and you got more money.
Right.
That's wrong. This is stuff that's wrong. And so if I have to and I get that opportunity and God blesses me to do such, these are the things that I will address with our president
Right.
because these are the things that have to be changed.
Do it for home first.
Home first.
I think a lot of politicians forget home 1st.
Mhm.
They always want to go out. Miss Francesca Amato, August 21st is going to be the first day of the best day of the rest of your life.
Cool.
You like that, right?
I
Al. Are you excited?
I am excited. I've been very excited and very energetic.
Are you ready?
I'm ready. I'm ready. I'm very ready.
If there's if you had to petition to the people and say to them, this is why you should sign a petition, this is why you should vote for me, what would you say to my people and your people?
Okay. This is why you should vote for me, because I'm not a politician. There's nothing about me that's a politician. I'm you. I am just you. I'm your neighbor. I'm just an average person with a big mouth. I care passionately about the issues that we just spoke of. And I personally would like to see other people like me run for offices in your state. I encourage people all the time. Because this is not about they're bigger than us, they're higher than us, they're mightier than us, and we look up to them. The Bible says fear of man brings a snare. So when we look up to these people as God, and they push us down and make us less than, and they control our lives, we're in trouble. We can't let that happen anymore. We need people just like me to be into offices as a public servant, not as a politician, so that these issues that we all care about, I don't care what title you want to give yourself, stop with the titles. Be a human being, be a neighbor, be a friend, be somebody that cares about families, so we can change things. And let's stop being fake, because I can't stand fake.
Oh God, me neither.
So
That's my
why.
favorite thing in the morning. Before we get out here, let me just read some of these comments because
I'm sorry I can't read your comments, guys, but
so shout out to Miss Lester. She said, I just found out the judge was gonna give my grandson to his dad, but they scared him. And hold on, sweetie, I'm trying to read this. There's so much good stuff right here. Hold on. Okay, I just found out that the judge was gonna give my grandson to his dad, but they scared him into a forced adoption.
no, never sign.
Miss Russell said no child should be separated from their mom and dad.
No.
Let me see. I'm just trying to read these comments. Absolutely, Fran. Big time. A big heart, Fran. You have a big heart. Absolutely. I love Fran. Thank you so much for what you do to help these people and families. Thank you. She's down to earth with God-given big mouth. Love you, sis. That's Cheyenne. Rochelle Cheyenne.
Okay.
Wish we had you running in WV.
West Virginia. Yeah.
And,
Don't worry, I may not be running in West Virginia, but we're doing some major cleaning in West
Virginia. Support
Major.
from Ohio.
Yes.
Support from Florida. Somebody said action speak. Listen, you guys, support. Go ahead, tell me where you support from. They coming in. Support from Philly, Brooklyn, New York supports you.
Yeah.
Team Loyalty makes you family.
Brooklyn in the house.
And BK, BK. I gotta know my B's and my X's. So shout out to all you guys that are tuned in, and I'm glad that all you guys are tuned in, because if you're tuned in, what you can help me do is get Miss Francesca in office by signing a petition.
Yes.
Again, before we get out of here, she'll give you all the information. For all those that know Moochie from Reporting Live 845, I will be around. Especially this weekend, I'll be all in Poughkeepsie, Beacon, and Newburgh. I also will be running down on you guys, asking for you to sign. Just please make sure you're registered to vote in New York State.
Yeah.
And as long
any party in New York State.
any party, and as long as you're
Sign.
registered, you can
As long as
sign.
you're registered, yeah.
And we're gonna get our own. This is what this is all about. Reporting Live 845, building our own from the ground up. We want to see our own in high places and doors opening for our own. So how great would it be to see our very own 845 a resident as a governor?
Yes.
This is going to be so big, not just for her, but just for the whole Hudson Valley and everything that she does, punished for protecting, just for everything that she has going on. And I encourage you to support her. So before we get out of here, and please know that I am her second big mouth. So I'm also a campaign manager, so I'll be actually pushing this really, really hard for you guys to sign. Oklahoma loves you.
Oh, hi,
Kentucky loves you.
Kentucky.
Kansas loves you. Love from Australia. Ow. I love y'all too. My name's Moochie. But before, somebody said hallelujah. Yes, yes. So before we get out of here, Ms. Branch is going to give you all of the information. I need you guys to vote. Mailing your signatures. Find me.
It has to go. It has to go on the official petition.
Has to
I
go.
have to email it to you first, and then we'll give you instructions.
She's gonna give you specific instructions. If not, like I said, I'll be around. I'm driving around, so I have my paper.
Yes.
I'll come to you. You can
Yes.
sign it. I also have another manager who's my co-manager partner as a campaign manager is.
Well, there's a lot of them all over.
Oh, it's a lot of us. Yeesh.
We have Jessica Erickson in Sullivan County.
Sullivan County.
Jennifer Seekircher in Dutchess County.
Dutchess County.
I have Billy Elson up in it's like up north in like Buffalo area.
Buffalo County.
We've got people down in Manhattan.
Everywhere.
I'm going to be back in the city this weekend. Then I'm going to be with you on Sunday.
That's right.
Poughkeepsie,
And with the women.
with the women, and I'm going to be down in Westchester at the very end of the month. I mean, I'm just going to be traveling in all over.
And I must say, you're getting a nice little tan here.
Yeah, I'm not even as dark as I want to be yet, but I'll get there.
We'll get there. You getting like me. You're going to be like me soon, Miss Brand. But make sure you guys vote. So I'm going to let her take her time one more time before we get out of here. She's going to talk real slow. I just want her to talk to you guys. Get the information. If you have any questions, you can contact her. You can also contact myself. Again, my name is, I tag myself in her video, which is Moochie Miss 845 Moochie Merchant. Again, if you need me and I have to come to you and you're in the Orange County area or the Hudson Valley, I can come to Sullivan County, Ulster County, Dutchess County, Rockland County. I'm mobile. But Miss Francesca, tell us how we can get you in office.
Okay, this is really important too. I'm working with Don Rufty and several other people. And Don has created a petition, which will, if you look me up on Facebook, Francesca Amato Banfield, that's a good way to get a hold of me as well. This petition is for an executive order to jail judges, and it doesn't just cover the judges, because our laws actually are in effect and always have been that when judges do this type of tyrannical behavior, it is a crime, and it's actually
just family court judges,
felony. Nope, it covers CPS workers and any other person that's in a public servant type of position. So this is something that we're working very hard on. We'll be speaking in Washington, D.C. at the For the Children event. So please look for that, For the Children, and actually the website is forthechildren.center. Please look that up too. If you go to my website at punishbeingaaparent.com, you can see that event on the first page of my website. My book is on there also. If you need to be inspired and you've been through family court, this is the most inspiring book to help you get through the hell they put you through. And it's about the injustice system of family court. Now, I'll be speaking before Congress in September during that event, and we're inviting everybody to come to that event. And there's actually going to be very reasonable places to sleep, because we're expecting at least 1 million people for this. It's going to be from the 8th through the 12th, and there's going to be music, and I mean, it's just going to be great. So we'll talk more about that on here as we get closer.
Absolutely.
And maybe we'll get some of the artists in here or something, because there's going to be music and bands. It's going to be phenomenal. But that's something that's very important, and it's a bunch of different groups that are family rights activists, the family rights movement. That some of the most amazing people will all be gathered together, speaking before Congress, giving them the statistics and all the abuse that the judges are doing and so on and so forth. And it's a very, very big event that can help, that will, I believe, be the end all of this baloney that's been going on. If you want to vote for me and you want to help me get on for the ballot, please email gov.ny, so gov like governor, gov.ny for New York, .voteamato, A-M-A-T-O, @gmail.com. And remember, the governor, because I know some people don't know this, I find out that they don't know this, the governor covers the entire state, all the way into New York City and the boroughs, but I've run into people that don't know that. Some people have no political understanding at all. So I was a little surprised. I know she's looking at me like, really? I've run into people that, I live in the city, I can't vote for the governor. And I'm like, no, you can. So just so you guys know, so this is what's happening in our schools today.
I know, we don't have no education. Right.
So just so you guys know, anybody, as long as you're a New York registered voter of any party, can sign that petition. Email the email that I gave you, and we'll send you back the instructions and how to get it back to us. So.
I'm so excited for you. And just so you guys know, because I'm part of her campaign team, you will see Reporting Live 845 and Miss Amato going live and doing a lot of these sit downs. And we want to keep the people, first of all, keep you guys engaged, keep you guys involved, to give you guys a heads up about what's going on, especially with her running and with her pre-running and her running and things of that nature. We want everybody to be involved. And I do not want you guys to forget, please, 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 please. Please, please, if you have not read this book, please, Punish for Protecting the Injustice System of Family Court. This is, first of all,
this is my true story.
This is a real book. This is a real life story. Mm-hmm. It's very, very interesting from beginning to end. This is a best-selling book, and it's available Barnes & Noble.
BarnesandNoble.com and Amazon.com, and there's several bookstores and pretty much, I think, every library.
Yep. So I need you guys to go to get a better understanding of what she does and who she is. Go get Punished for Protecting. We can sit here for hours and tell you who she is, but if you want to get the best insight of Miss Francesca Amato, you need to read this book, Punished for Protecting, and you'll see why she does what she does and why she has such a passion and love for it. Shout out to her little guy. Shout your little guy out.
So my son, Christian, I'm sure you're watching. I can't see it right now. But yeah, this is my son Christian, and sometimes he's in some of my live videos too. This kid can sing, let me tell you, but I just want to say hi and I love you, and I'll see you in a little bit. And anybody out there too, if you need me to come and speak at your churches or anywhere, Catholic Charities, I believe I will be. And can I have a quick shout out?
You better shout them out.
Louisa Parker is running for Congress, and I did interview her yesterday. If you check my Facebook page, she's running for Congress, and I spoke with her yesterday for several hours, and I did a little live for maybe 25 minutes today, so you can see a little bit more about her platform. And
yes, and hopefully we can get her on this show as well.
Yeah, we'd like to get her on. Yeah,
because we definitely want to get to know. We want to get to know anybody that's running.
Yes.
I keep telling you, and I can't stress this enough. You guys been seeing my little blogs lately. I'm just a pioneer for change. I feel like change has to happen, and it has to be people that stand in the gap. So that's why God has connected me with people such as Miss Francesca, Miss Tony Jean, and all the people that believe in change, that's fighting for change, and that's actually doing it. Because it's one thing to say you want change. It's another thing to actually do it.
That's right. So come do it with us.
Come do ain't nothing to it but to do it. Miss Francesca, you already know this has been a pleasure sitting with you. I absolutely love you. And I will be fighting out here and hustling up these signatures because we need you to walk in on August 21st with at least about 100,000 signatures. They said 15, I'll give you 100,000. So we'll be anywhere between the middle. But we want people to get involved. Again, the beautiful Miss Francesca is pre-running for governor of New York, you guys.
So again, on Facebook, Francesca Amato Banfield. I think I've reached my limit of the 5,000, but if you guys just hit follow so you can see the live videos as they come on.
Yes.
So
you hit your limit too?
It looks like I hit my limit.
You better get a fan page. You gotta get a fan page.
I've got other group pages and stuff. It's hard to keep up.
I know.
Twitter and all this stuff.
Twitter, Instagram, you gotta be in everything. But listen, if you can't follow her anyway. Because
you can hit follow.
That's what I'm saying. Can't friend, follow her anyway because she always got good stuff. I love this woman. Make sure you go to Barnes and Nobles and Amazon and purchase the book Punished for Protecting. If not, follow her Facebook page, her Instagram, her Twitter. If not, follow Reporting Live because we definitely keep up with Miss Francesca and everything that she does. And because I am one of her campaign managers in the Orange County area, I definitely will be keeping up with everything that she does as far as the political because I believe
yes.
change has come. had a dream.
Yes.
That change has come and is here. I love you guys. Happy Wednesday. Have a blessed night. And I believe you're going to be live tonight.
I'm going to talk more about the case today.
Yes,
so I might do it on the drive home. We'll see.
See? So make sure you guys tune in to Miss Francesca Amato Banfield.
Yeah, well, Francesca Amato. I'm
Oh, you-
right. Yeah.
No, but you
Banfield on
the Facebook.
On the Facebook.
Make sure you guys are going to Miss Francesca Amato Banfield on the Facebook page and for her live that she'll be doing shortly. She does lives as a lot and they're very, listen, her lives be getting like 2K, 5K, 10K, 12K, 15K. I just want to be like her when I grow up. So make sure you guys follow her page and make sure you guys get involved. I love you guys. Happy Wednesdays and I'll see you guys tomorrow, same time, same place. Reporting live 845, straight 845 radio, building our own from the ground up. See you tomorrow.
God bless.